Why do love bombers come on so hard and then ghost? Because they were never chasing you, they were chasing the feeling that they got from you. Now hear me out. Love bombing is an inorganic amount of love, attention, and admiration from somebody in the small time that you've known them. So love bombers, it's not always narcissists that do this, but it is prone to be. But often people that'll love bomb could be really insecure, could have their own attachment issues, and they just want the love so bad that they feel like if they just give it all, that maybe they'll get the love back from that person. Love bombing can look like somebody who wants to take you away on these lavish trips, somebody who wants you to meet their family off the bat, somebody who says that you're the one for them or that they love you after one time of meeting. Now, I'm sure you're amazing and you know that you're amazing, but for this person that you don't really know, they can't make that determination in such a short period of time. And the reason that they dip right after is because for them, the feeling that they're getting from chasing you is the reason that they're doing that. It's a high that they get. It's a high that's created from this because you are hitting that dopamine. And then when you start to match that and say, okay, cool, let's actually form a relationship. Let's do this. You've been pursuing me. Oh no, they don't actually want the relationship. They were never after it for you specifically. They were after that it didn't make them feel abandoned or it made them feel good or it made them feel validated. They got their needs met. Because they don't have the bandwidth to go beyond the shallow. They're just surfacing in the little ducky water. But now you're asking them to have a relationship and they're saying, whoa, 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 I can't swim that deep. So if somebody comes on really fast, the pinch doesn't match the out. The amount of attention and admiration you're getting doesn't match the amount of time that you've known this person. Set a fucking boundary. Let them know, hey, I'm not interested in moving this fast. I want to go a little slower. I'd just like to get you to know you a little bit better. If they ghost and they dip, sure enough, it's had nothing to do with you. It has to do with the fact that you set a boundary and they were no longer feeling good about it.
So I talk to a lot of women every day who are meeting guys on dating apps who seem to be emotionally available, claim to be emotionally available, and then 2 or 3 weeks down the line, turns out not so much. And there's really only two explanations for it. The first one sucks, and that is they're using it as a strategy. They're not really looking for a relationship. They're looking for a way to get your clothes off, and once they do that, then they're gone. Now, the second reason may be just as tough to swallow, but I'm going to be brutally honest, and that is they're just not that into you. A guy will come on strong when he sees you and he believes that he's really into you, but it can take him a while to understand how into you he really is, right? Like, is he so into you that he wants to be in a relationship with you? And if not, at about the 3 or 4 week mark, he's going to bail out. So here's how you protect yourself against these guys who are, for all intents and purposes, emotionally unavailable. First and foremost, have the conversation early. Have the exclusivity conversation earlier than you want to. If you don't want to sleep with him until you know you're exclusive, great. And the second way is the 9 out of 10 rule. And this is my rule that says 9 out of 10 guys that you meet are not going to be worth your time. It doesn't mean that you approach it in a negative way, and it doesn't mean you stand there with your arms folded and say, prove to me you're a good guy, but he should have hoops to jump through. If he's not willing to jump through hoops to get to you, the prize, then he's not your guy, right? I don't want you to get to the 3 or 4 week mark and then be standing there going, what happened to that great guy that I met? Where did he go? Why all those stories he was telling me about the future and wanting to spend his life with me, and now suddenly he's gone. Men suck. Dating sucks. That's a terrible place to be. I want you to be wary, right? 9 out of 10 guys that you're going to meet are not worth your time. Hope that helps.
One reason love bombing can be so addictive is because when a toxic person adores you, sees you, praises, and tells you everything beautiful about who you are, and you feel so deeply seen and understood, and then they take that away, they withdraw, and you want it back. Part of what you want back is the feeling you got from it. The feeling of someone seeing everything that is beautiful in you. But when you love yourself enough, understand your needs, and know you're worthy, you lose attraction toward people who make you question your worth. It doesn't mean you're beyond hurt feelings, but you understand their hurtful behavior was not caused by you. There wasn't anything you could do or didn't do, and that staying will only reduce your standards and never get you what you want. Love bombing, then ghosting, is a serious red flag, and the initial loss of having someone so close disappear is far less painful than the destructive road that an early behavior like that inevitably leads to.
Here's my personal experience with being love bombed and then ghosted. I'm Sabrina. I'm a dating coach and a host of Do the Work podcast. And boy, have I fucking seen it all and experienced it. And after talking to my therapist, listen, I'm not somebody that will diagnose people, but typically people that love bomb and then ghost are narcissists. That is part of their idealize, devalue, and discard behavior. And at the end of the day, love bombing is a means of control. The love bomber or the narcissist wants to make sure that they are the center of your world and all of your boundaries are now going to be reshaped based on that. So they can push and get what they want until you open your mouth up and say something. And that is usually when they boop, are gone, or when they realize that they've gotten what they wanted or their validation needs have been met, they're out. And to them, there's nothing to fix because there were no emotions to be part of it. They were doing this as a means to fuel their own desires and to get their validation and to feel good about themselves, because narcissists or anybody who's avoidant has a very low self-esteem and low vision of self, but they put themselves on a pedestal because they actually truly believe that they are above everybody else. Very interesting dynamic. So anyways, last summer, I was on Raya and I matched with this guy. I lived in LA, he lived in San Diego. And I remember when we matched, he was like, listen, I'm in LA all the time. I'm shooting there all the time. I always have shoots, blah, blah. Are you cool with this? And I was like, yeah, it's only 2 hours. Like, no big deal. I don't really care. And when we started talking, I remember it was like the texting was pretty frequent. I was out shopping with my mom and she was like, oh, this is sweet. Like, okay, cool. I'm excited for you. And then it progressed. It got to the point where we were texting all day, like morning to night. And I remember he like was working as a teacher and all this. And I even kept thinking like, where are you getting the time to text me this much? And it was laying it on thick. I was the most intoxicatingly beautiful woman this guy has ever met. And there's a connection and he feels like our souls have known each other. And it was laying it on fucking thick to the point where like my mama said, yo, he's too sweet and getting a toothache. And it just felt like a lot. So as the week went on, we were texting each other nonstop. We were sending videos and sending photos and things. And he just kept saying how he couldn't wait to have me in his arms. And of course the conversation kept progressing into things that we want together in the future. I had never fucking met this person. I was creating this entire situation based off of a few text messages. So a few days later, I finally was like, all right, cool. Like, this has been fun for a few days, yada, yada. But like, and this was when I was still kind of in my unhealthy mindset. And I was like, cool. So what are we going to do here? And the minute I started, so we had the idealized phase, put me on the pedestal. The minute I started saying, all right, shit or get off the pot, like, what are we going to do here? And started challenging his narrative and what he wanted to happen here. That's when the devalue phase kept coming in. It was, God, you're being so needy right now. I'm busy. Or, geez, I said I was going to see you. Like, why are you trying to be, your anxiety is starting to push me away. And all the while, all I said was, cool, are we good for this weekend? Like, what's going on? And so then I was like, okay, started seeing the texts were getting more space in between each get one. And I was just like, all right, whatever. Saturday rolls around and he was supposed to come to LA where I was and we were going to spend the day together. Yada, yada. And sure enough, I get fucking ghosted and I don't hear from him, nothing. And finally, hours later, when I was like, are you fucking kidding me? He makes up this crazy excuse that I knew wasn't true because on Instagram, he had posted photos. It was stupid for him to lie. And we had been friends on Insta and like messaging. So like, I knew he was a real person. And at that point I was done. Fast forward a month later, guess who calls me and FaceTimes me? Okay, everything's good in my life now. I can pick back up on this. Not even trying to say, listen, let me make it up to you and come see you. And sure enough, he calls me and we talk. And when I said, listen, I found it really inappropriate, the behavior that you pulled completely gaslit me and everything was my fault and took no ownership and how I did all this. And I finally just said, you know what? I think let's agree to disagree. Take care. And he just said, fuck off and hung up on me. And that is the prime example of a fucking narcissist. And after going over it with my therapist and looking into it, and that's what we established was this person idealized me, then he devalued me and he discarded me like nothing. And the funniest thing about it all was I was talking to my friend and we found out he did the same fucking thing to her like 4 months prior. The same nonstop texting, the same verbiage of how he goes into LA all the time and blah, blah. And she kept saying, I don't know, this guy and I were supposed to meet and he just like never was doing it, would come up with an excuse. And she was like, I finally was just done with it. And we realized it was the same fucking person. And moral of that story is somebody who will love bomb and ghost, this is not their first rodeo. This is their fucking MO. Fixing this to them, you are just a means to an end. You are just there for their validation and hit. So once they've checked off all the boxes and they've gotten what they want, they move on to the next because they don't even have an awareness around themselves as to why they're doing this or what they're even doing. And they keep seeing it as it's everybody else. It's not them. They just aren't meeting the person that they want. And it was so fucking easy to walk away from this because I knew in my head, I didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, what I did wrong was I allowed it. That was my part in it. I should never have allowed this. I got swallowed up in it because I'm a fucking human. And at the time I was unhealthy and I wasn't really on that headspace. And I was thinking, if a guy's texting me all the time, he must want a relationship with me, right? Well, I think we all know the answer to that. And this guy's still single and on the apps doing the same shit because another one of my friends told me that the same thing happened to them. It's not personal, I promise. It's not just you. This is what they do.
This is exactly my point. Love bombing is not fucking normal. Usually they start off all lovey-dovey, you're the best thing that's ever happened to them, they can't believe that they met somebody like you, they like you so much, and you've met them once or you've only known them for a couple weeks, and then all of a sudden, they ghost you or they start slowly backing away. They stop answering as fast. They start acting weird. You realize they're talking to all these other people. Come on now. It is not normal for somebody to be acting that way when they barely know you. And then it makes you catch feelings for them. You start liking them. You're like, oh my God, this person treats me amazing. And then all of a sudden you're left heartbroken. You're confused. You don't know what the fuck happened. So remember, make sure you're actually getting to know somebody. Make sure they actually like you for you. Make sure you're taking things slow, progressing at a normal pace, and making sure that you're sticking to your standards and your boundaries. I promise you, it's gonna weed all the people that have bad intentions right on out of your life.
They will chase you until they have you, and when they have you, they're gonna treat you like they never wanted you. If that happens, this is the first thing I need you to do. First of all, I need you to remember who the fuck you are, because he was the one who was pursuing you in the very beginning. I was gonna say wanted you, but no, he pursued you, he got you. I want you to go back to the feeling you felt when he was coming to you and acting like you were literally the prized possession. He was complimenting you, asking about you, all these things. Why are you making more effort now? Why are you texting more? Why are you waiting by your phone for him? No. Remove that desperation. He can sense it. He can feel it. You're responding quicker. You're the one initiating more conversations. You're waiting for him to call, text. You're answering faster. No, cut it. Relax. You know what my mom used to tell me whenever I had moments like that? She would say, I want you to look at his text and go do something. It sounds crazy, but the limerence that you're feeling is stemming not from your attachment to him. It's the feeling of being wanted. That sensation of he wants me. You don't actually care that he's texting you, because I guarantee you the reason he's not answering the way he used to is not because he got busier all of a sudden. Listen to me when I tell you this. This man is looking at your name on his phone when you text and choosing not to respond to you in that moment. Trust me, girl, he got the message, and it's a choice he's making. Simmer down, remember who you are, look in the mirror. Love you.